In the third part of this section on straight lines, we're going to look at solving simultaneous equations. If we take two straight lines and try to find where they cross, we can think of them as two equations which need to be solved at the same time. There's three main ways of solving these simultaneous equations. The first example shows equating coefficients. We write the two equations down. If we times the first one by 3, we find that the coefficient of y in equations 2 and 3 are now 6. If we now take those equations away from each other, we get 2x is 4. So this gives us x is 2. We can put this value into either of the equations to get y. We're going to put it into equation 1. This tells us y is 4. We've used equation 1. It's always a good idea to check your values. So we're going to put it in 2. If we check this sum, we get 38, which is the correct answer. So these two lines intersect the point 2, 4. Our second example is substitution. The second equation here is written in the form y equals some expression of x. We can substitute this into the first equation. So where there's a y in the first equation, we can write 2x minus 5 instead. If we now rearrange this equation, we find that x is 3. Again, we can use either equation to find the value of y. So if we put this into 2, we find that y is 1. Again, it's a good idea to check this answer. We've used equation 2, so we're going to put both values into equation 1. We get out the answer 13, which is the correct one. So we know that these two graphs cross at the point 3, 1. In this final example, both lines are written y equals an expression of x. So if the expressions of x are both equal to y, then they're both equal to each other. This is equating expressions. If we rearrange this, we can find a value for x, and again we can put this into one of the original equations. So 2 tells us y is 5. Again, it's a good idea to check this in the expression you have not used. So putting it into the first expression, we get 5, which is correct. This tells us that the point of intersection is 2, 5. Here is a typical exam question for you to try. Press pause, and once you have finished doing it, press play again to see the answers. For these two expressions, we're going to equate coefficients. So we're going to double the first equation. Now the coefficients of y have the same size 6. But as they are opposite signs, we're going to add equations 2 and 3 together. When we add 2 and 3 together, we get 5x equals 40, and so we can find the value for x. We now put this into equation 1, rearrange, and this tells us y is 1. Again, We can check this using the equation we haven't used. Equation 2, we get the value 2, which is the correct value, and so we know the point of intersection is 8, 1. We leave this section with the key points.